Yeah, that's his boss.
All right, you guys ready?
ComX presents.
Alex, not yet. Lauren, what are you doing?
Making everything look sexy and chilling.
By the way, I don't want to eat anyone's thumbnails.
Thanks, Nick May, for that's super helpful. Can we just get the show going?
ComX net, is it ComX net AU or?
Are you ready for drinking? Drawing? What about laughing? Well, hold on to your crumpets. It's season 2 of the ComX Friday Night Drink and Draw, with your hosts Sizzle and Spedsy, and the man they call Quick, plus Australia's most attractive artists and creators, many of whom have books for sale at comx.shop. Alright Dave, you can start drawing.
Yeah, if you can make sense of it, good luck. Hello, I'm Sizzle, and this is Friday Night's Drink and Draw, brought to you by ComX. Tonight's theme is the Dark Crystal, and our special guest is Jenny Mackintosh.
Except, Sis, you meant to say it like this: the Dark Crystal. And joining us on this episode, the Dark Crystal is, of course, the man they call.
I'm Quick. Hey, how you going? We're off to a great start here on the ComX Drink and Draw show. I'm here to draw quickly while everyone talks. But to my side is another man who's going to introduce himself.
You, McGowan, and
and next to him is.
I forgot my ComX hat, so I feel a little bit naked. I don't know. I'm still Alex though. I'm still Alex, and below
we
me
had one golden episode where, for some reason, Shaden just started saying her own name, and then it went beautifully. But I think we're going to revert to the old style. Joining us tonight on the show, of course, after Hugh McGowan, Alex Major, is Nick May. How are you, sir?
I'm really good. I'm Nick May.
Yeah, if you still want to say your own name, you're allowed to.
I'm Nick May.
Yeah, we got that, dude.
The guy below me, is that Nick May?
That's Nick May.
Oh, wow.
Just double checking that it's Nick May. Yeah.
And then next to him is a man who's going to cause quite a lot of confusion tonight. It's the sequel to Rob number 1. It's Rob number 2, Rob O'Connor. Welcome, sir.
You can just call me not Nick May.
Not Nick.
As long as you're saying my name, that's all that counts.
Hi, guys. Good to be here.
Oh, Dave's giving a monologue and he's on mute.
Why are you muting, Dave?
David. He wants you to do the audio, Rob.
I'm muting because I'm sharpening pencils. My name's Dave Dye, and over to...
Well, next to Dave Dye is lady must be fresh off a convention because she's always at a convention. It's DJ Dana King. Welcome back.
Hello.
And then, yes, as Sizzle said, our special guest, of course, is Jenny Mackintosh. Welcome to the show, Jenny.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. I've got my light set up as the Dark Crystal.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, yeah, so Jenny, you picked a good one because Sizzle knows, well, he's like an encyclopedia when it comes to the Dark Crystal. So
Excellent.
What do we got?
Okay, what have I got? I watched this when I was quite young. So
me too.
I really don't remember it. I remember loving it, and that's about my memory of it. There was a crystal, I guess, and I only know that because of the name.
Was it
I remember these weird creatures like the ones on the picture. I remember these like sort of fairy type things, or at least the girl had wings. There was these little weird creatures that look like those things from Star Trek, but with teeth. I don't know.
This is awesome.
That's about all I got, man.
Well, this movie, The Dark Crystal, came out in 1982. I was 5. And I think I saw it when I was 5, and I shouldn't have seen it when I was 5. Now, this sounds kind of morbid, but in my late teens, my nana had a stroke, and not long after that, she passed away. But I got to see her in the hospital after her stroke, and the first thing that I thought was she looked like a Skeksis thingy. Because that movie scarred me. Am I saying it right? Skeksis guy. He's just a sketchy guy, sexy boy. When he's passing away on the bed or whatever, the old dude, and he's all
the Emperor. It's messed up.
Yeah, that movie's not for kids, guys. I can tell you, as a former kid, that thing stuck with me. What about you, Quick? You would have seen it. You're all about it.
Sorry, I'm just busy quicking at the moment. And that'll do it.
Leave it on. Put it on the screen.
Leave it up. I remember watching The Dark Crystal, and it was the kind of thing where it was like, let's watch it again. I'm not watching it alone, though, so you had to find someone to watch it with because it was terrifying, like you said. I also remember it being like sort of slow, like very slow for a kid's production.
Right.
And a part of you would watch it, and you're like, "This is great. This is okay. This is. Let's watch The Labyrinth because I feel like some fast puppets now." So The Labyrinth stuck with me as like the stronger version of whatever Jim Henson was doing. And I've watched it since The Dark Crystal, and it drags a little, but it's beautiful and it's very filmic and it's gorgeous. And I checked out the Netflix series when it came out, and it was pretty good. Okay, there was a standout scene when the puppets actually put on a puppet show, though. That was outstanding.
Cool. Yeah,
it's like
that was really cool.
It's really cool. And it's worth just finding that scene alone. And that's everything I got.
That's where the idea for the movie Inception came from. Puppets within puppets. I feel like The Dark Crystal is part of a trilogy of sorts with Wizard of Oz 2, Return to Oz, and The Never-Ending Story. Kids movies that Never-Ending Story is not as bad, but kids movies that really you shouldn't be watching till you're 13 at least, because Never-Ending Story's got this big ass wolf that is always hunting people. It's got horses flying. Tracks, whatever. Atreyu. Everyone's yelling things in that movie. And then the Dark Crystal, those big hunchback dudes walking along the mountain, humming and stuff, and it's too much weirdness. What about you, Hugh? Speaking of weirdness, first time on the show. It's a pleasure to have you. We will talk to you a bit later in the show about yourself, but until then, it's all about the Dark Crystal. So, what do you got?
Yeah, so it's sort of related to me anyway, but I grew up on a farm and we had sort of VCR. We didn't really have much like I guess we had a computer, but so Dark Crystal and stuff was like really outside normal television for us. And I grew up on all Henson and like you say, Return to Oz as well we had, and both of them were just like going to another planet, like compared to Outback Australia.
Whereabouts, you?
Like West Queensland. Yeah, kind of.
Name it. What town?
Bowen.
Bowen. All right.
With a double L. Yeah. Yeah. So it was a big deal, and I was I didn't know what normal kids are meant to do, so I started making puppets when I saw Henson stuff. So,
Oh, really? That's so cool.
That's awesome. How far did you get with the puppet making? Did you take it on the road? Did you have a road show on the back of a horse and wagon going to each town? And
no, but they did.
Oh, please say you did.
Back then they had like arts council stuff come out to the rural towns and put on puppet shows and stuff. So, and I think ferals were pretty big back then too. So, yeah, it was just like puppets, everything to me.
Yeah, sweet. Do you still dabble in puppetry now?
Yeah. Studying animation now, so it's sort of combined. Yeah.
Digital puppet.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, awesome. Well, a man with two L's in his name, of course, is Alex. Alex, did you work on the Dark Crystal 2 straight to DVD version, or?
No, I wish. Actually, I'd never heard of it. I mean, until I asked Sizzle 2 days ago. I was like, "Oh, what are we drawing?" It's a Dark Crystal, and I was like, what's that? So I Googled it and I saw like, I've seen this before as a kid, but it wasn't Labyrinth. So I didn't see it. I don't know what it was, but anyways, like so I was thinking it's a kind of brown puppets and it reminded me of Fraggle Rock at first. So that's another Jim Henson production that I know more of. So if we're talking about Fraggle Rock, we know a lot more. But because we're not, this is pretty much all my knowledge. And I'm not even sure if I'm drawing the correct character. I'm drawing something I Googled. I liked it a lot. And I hope it wasn't like a misfire Google where it's just something else. So this character that I'm animating today better be from Dark Crystal.
Is it like a Velociraptor meets
Black Friday, get a special on Alex. Off.
Yeah. So no cap today. And I don't know much, and I wanted to talk about Fraggle Rock instead. So I'm sorry, I'm not bringing my A game today. So I think Nick knows more about this than I do.
Yeah, the more ComX hats we add to the show, the more this looks like a cult. So I'm okay with you not having the hat. What about you, Nick?
Part of a cult?
I remember on the playground, you were referred to as a Skeksis back in the day. Like you were big into skateboarding. That was a thing, wasn't it? The Skegs and the Skeksis.
Yes. Yeah, exactly right. Unlike Hugh, I didn't grow up in a country town. And unlike Hugh, I also didn't grow up with a VCR. And probably unlike most of you, I did grow up as a part of a cult. So I guess when the Dark Crystal came out, I was about 13, and I was way too removed from pop culture to have seen it. I know people were talking about it, never seen it, and it's one of those things. So it's with Labyrinth. I've never seen that. I recently watched Return to Oz, and I probably did watch Never-Ending Story, but all of those sort of movies just sort of passed me by a little bit in the 80s. So I've got a bit of catching up to do, I think.
Sorry, Nick, just before, were you actually in a cult or there was a joke?
Save it for after the show, Alex.
It was just like, we're learning a new nugget from Nick. That was interesting.
Yeah, well, later in the show, we'll start our new segment called Nick's Nuggets, and he'll drop more.
There you go.
Now, Alex, remind me, we need to give you a little 5-minute bit in the show later to discuss Fraggle Rock, because I want to just quickly go into Return to Oz with Nick May, so I haven't seen it since I was a kid, but I remember things like electroconvulsive therapy, weird things on stilts, and Yellow Brick Road, all looking like I've been through an apocalypse. Am I far off? What?
It feels like you're not. I remember people talking about it probably when I was a slightly older teenager and saying how that had traumatized them. And I think, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think the Scissor Sisters had a song called Return to Oz that pretty much told the story. So I thought, well, I should watch it. And yeah, I just remember lots of heads in cabinets and stuff.
Yes, I vaguely remember that.
And was the idea, so it was all in her head or something? Was that the premise? Was she Dorothy? Talk to me.
Yeah, let's not spoil Return to Oz for all those people who want to watch the Dark Crystal. But yeah, it's weird.
Speaking of weird, of course, we've got Desperate Jenny's dad in the house. Rob, a thing I'd like to do on the show is odd and weird segues. So you just got one. So they're not meant to insult them. Well, they're meant to insult, but a lighthearted jab as opposed to a go home and tell your mum how mean I was. Rob,
I'm honoured.
Are you a Dark Crystal fanatic?
I'm very much a Jim Henson fan, yeah. I did see The Dark Crystal. I'm pretty sure I saw it at the cinema. If not, I saw it pretty much the moment it came out on VHS.
Okay.
Though I do remember Labyrinth. I definitely saw that one in the cinema. That was peak time. But yeah, I was a bit like everybody. I was a bit more of a Muppet fan, and then The Dark Crystal came along and went, "What the? Okay, this isn't quite Fozzie Bear telling bad jokes."
Yeah, do you reckon was there? I don't have no idea. Was there a Muppet Jim Henson fandom back in the day that was like, new Jim Henson joint? We're going to go see it. Bring the nieces and nephews, and then just like, oh my god,
my eyes. Well, actually, their eyes. I remember that scene. That's the scene that stuck into my childhood brain. That scene where they're getting their life force sucked out of them, and you sort of those little puppets. You could see their eyes going cloudy and all of that sort of stuff from the crystal. And I wish there were therapists around then. I could have used one.
Not too late.
But as for fan bases, who knows? With the internet, we all just watched movies and enjoyed ourselves and didn't talk about it unless somebody else had seen the movie at school.
Yeah. What about you, Dave? This could go either way. Either you have no idea what this was, or you just finished tour number 12 in the swamps of Vietnam, and you came home and you couldn't wait to watch the latest Jim Henson joint.
No, well, I'm just going from what you've said tonight. I'm getting the gist that this is not the one that David Bowie was in.
Correct.
No, that's Labyrinth.
Yeah, that was something else. Okay, well, I don't know about this one at all. I've never heard of this one.
Your picture looks great. That being said.
Now, Dave, I'm assuming you did some Googling today to find something to draw.
Yep.
From what you saw, give us what you think the synopsis of the movie would be.
Oh, well, they're looking for the Dark Crystal, and it rules the world. Something like that. Threatens the world.
Yeah, you're correct so far. Now, who you're drawing? Is she one of the heroes, the villains?
Well, she's quite pretty in a elfish sort of way, so I guess she's a goodie.
Okay. And now she wants the Dark Crystal.
Yeah.
Why would she want the Dark Crystal?
Oh, no, don't ask me that. I don't know that bit.
No, we're jamming. We're like pretend like I've brought you this movie pitch. I'm like, it's called the Dark Crystal. It's got this elf thing. That's as much as I've got. Now you're a creative man. Why would she want this thing? We need a purpose.
Well, she's going to save the world from those nasty looking vulture turkey looking things.
That's awesome.
Am I right?
Yeah, well, yeah. And then, all right, now to close out this pitch meeting, Dave, we just need a name for these vulture turkey-looking bad guys. If you could just give us a name.
I saw the name of one of them. What was it? Fraggle? No. No, I don't know. I can't remember.
I can't remember. Perfect. That went exactly as I hoped. DK.
Yes.
What do you think? Have you seen the Dark Crystal? Are you all over it? No idea.
No, I'm not. I haven't actually seen it as well. So I don't really know either.
And so today was your looking up what to draw. Was today your first dabble into it?
Well, I know of it, but yeah, I just had to Google some things.
Now, do you think Dave's far off with basically the cute elfish lady needs to get the Dark Crystal to save the world from Fraggles? Is that kind of...
Yeah, that's pretty close.
That's awesome. Well, what we can do... That's actually Thanksgiving in America, so that's very timely.
Wow. Is that today?
Nice. I think it was yesterday. Not sure.
Tomorrow, I think. 26th, I think, isn't it?
Jenny, we've just got a bit of a click on your microphone. That's why we've been just muting you while other people are talking. But it's all good. Now, Jenny, how far off How far off are we where it's a cute elf lady needs to get the dark crystal to save the world from a Fraggle? Are we close to the storyline?
Kind of. He's a he, so his name's Jen. So
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, so he's a he.
Right.
And there's two races that were formed once the crystal shattered, and they were the Mystics and the Skeksis. So the Mystics are the good guys, and the Skeksis are the bad. So, story goes on where Jen has to find a shard of the crystal to stop the Skeksis from doing whatever their plans were, including the Chamberlain. And that's when he meets the love interest. I can't remember her name. She's a gelfling too, but she has wings. So
Is
that's
that
the
Kira, or-
difference between the. Sorry.
Is that Kira? Is that because I think that's who Dave's
Yeah,
drawing.
Kira.
Kira.
Yeah. And then Jen is the main.
Yeah.
I'm cheating. I've got Wikipedia open next to me.
Yeah, that's fair. So the first the dark crystal.
We're just getting a bad click on your mic where you keep dropping out. Is your mic attached to your headphones or something? Where is it?
Hang on. Maybe that's not helping. Hey, should I take them out?
Yeah, maybe.
Sorry, guys.
No, it's gone now. The click, so we can hear you.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I think we're good. Are we good?
I think we're good.
There's still a few clicks, but as long as we can hear you talk. No, we can't hear you talk.
Oh no, you've gone dead silent now. Tech issues. Go ahead on.
Yeah, sorry, we're quick sitting. Maybe
my favorite holding pattern.
I don't know. Maybe there's down the bottom of the settings. We'll just mute you for a sec, and if you did the test in the settings, maybe you'll be able to hear your own playback and go from there. In the meantime, how about I drop some knowledge as though I know what I'm talking about?
Is it going to be about Fraggle Rock?
Yeah. Oh well, actually, that's your perfect. This is your perfect time, Alex. Tell us about this Fraggle love and give us the deal with Fraggle Rock, because that's another thing I watched when I was a kid, but I don't totally. I thought the Muppets in one episode of the Muppet Show crawled through a hole and came out in Fraggle Town or something. So
I wish I could. I wish I knew more about Fraggle Rock. I just kind of faked. I mean, I could tell you what I knew, Rob. I was a kid watching it in Austria in German. It's one of those other shows that I was watching in German. I remember that there were like on Underground, there were these things making pipes, which was confusing. And then on the top, there was like a monster thing that every now and then they talked to. And then somehow I was like, I did not know for like about 20 years what the hell that show was. And then one time it just popped up, some other thing, whatever, on the internet. And there was like, so Fraggle Rock, that's the name of that weird show I was watching as a kid. But yeah, I couldn't give you the proper synopsis and elevator pitch for the show, unless like some exec would totally love it if I just pitched that idea. Some monsters were making pipes on the bottom, and then a dude in some monster in the backyard.
All right, Mr. Netflix, I've got this amazing idea. We've got these little monsters that build some pipes on the bottom. Yes, please elaborate. No, that's all I got.
I'm just testing my audio.
Oh yeah, okay. Finally, Jenny's back.
Jenny, you sound good. Save the show,
Look,
Jenny.
I hope my audio is all good now.
You sound
apologies.
absolutely perfect. So tell us about
Okay,
the Dark
great.
Crystal and why it's so awesome.
Now, where was I? So from memory, it's about Jen, who goes on a quest to save the realm from the Skeksis, including the Chamberlain, which is my favorite Skeksis because he's the conniving one. He starts as losing everything, and then he works in the shadows to get back to the throne. And I can't remember all of it on the top of my head, but the point is they go on a journey, Kira and Jen, and they come across Aughra. Do you remember Aughra, the kind of witch lady? And she had the eyeball.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, she's weird. Yep, I remember her. She's got an eye on her forehead.
She was a character for sure. So he meets her, then she sends her on his way onto more of a quest, and the end of this. Do I give spoilers? Am I allowed to? I mean, they came out in 1992.
I think it's old enough.
Yeah.
Are we all past? Okay.
Yeah, we're going to be spoiling the Dark Crystal from here on out. I mean, we've spoiled it in as much as, like, if you enjoyed it, we've basically pooped on it this whole time. So now we're going to spoil it in a praising it way, hopefully, maybe. Let's see. All right, spoil away.
Fantastic. So I think one scene that I remember that stayed with me, it was the scientist Skeksis, and he was testing on the podlings, and he was consuming their soul essence through the crystal, like gathering their souls. And the scene where the podling's getting its eyes and its face just sinks in. I just don't know how they did it, but props to the special effects makeup artists and prosthetic makeup team, because the way they made that face sink in just stayed with me. So they were using the podlings to gather more energy for the crystal and all this bad guy drama. You'll have to see it.
Oh, yeah, the podlings. They were the cute little dudes. I'm happy to Google each name as you
they
say
were
it.
innocent.
Yeah.
They did nothing wrong. They did nothing to the Skeksis.
Talking about the little brown dudes with the eyes and the fluffy things and the mouths opening.
Yeah, all they do is just party. They party in the forest. That's right. Jen meets them in the forest, and they just have a cool party and just hang out.
Yeah,
sounds like a ComX show. That should be. We should do a special where we just party in the forest.
Yeah, Alex, you're talking about a Fizzgig, which is a friendly monster. Yeah, it's a loyal sidekick and dog-like companion of Kira. And then I think the guy who terrifies me is Skeekvar. Is that the guy who dies? Like he's on
the Emperor.
Spends the whole show, the whole movie in bed going. And then,
he's the one who's dying on the deathbed at the beginning, and then. Do you want to say more?
Nah, that was enough. And then, as a man with bad posture, the person I related to was, I think his name is Urzar, one of those humming dudes that walks around. Where they kind of look like Skeksis, but with more skin on them. The brownie hunchback dude.
Are they the scarab beetle army peeps? No.
This dude? That kind of
guy? Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. I think they were called Mystics.
I'm looking this up.
This guy here.
Yeah, that was my picture. Nailed it.
I'm telling the other people, mate.
I'm making sure.
Oh, wait, hang on.
I can't rely on you to draw. Can you just draw the whole movie real quick?
I think Nick's quick enough to do that.
I could do a few key scenes, maybe.
Super quick, Nick.
Animate about 20 minutes of it.
Yeah.
Your bag.
All right. So, and so what about it, Jenny, do you think appealed to you so much?
Oh my gosh, where do I start? So I watched it when I was 7 in my parents' attic. No supervision. So I had no idea what I was getting into, but it just stayed with me. And I think in a good way, it just terrified me because the puppetry was so well done and the whole world building was just incredible. So it stayed with me, and I think pivoted my curiosity for learning more about horror and learning what makes something scary or make it the way it is, like stepping behind the curtain to understand why it the way it is. So that pivoted my interest into horror and horror films, horror video games. I'm always challenging and questioning that fear. So I think Dark Crystal was like a really, really good spot for me when I was like a child. It left like a good impression creatively.
Yeah.
And that's why I painted my piece, The Crystal Consumes, because I wanted to tell like an alternate ending where the Skeksis do win and Jen is consumed by the crystal. So adding on to that horror that was somewhat already there in the film, like it was dark fantasy. So yeah, it was a film that stayed with me. Yeah.
Yeah, right. I mean, so you were kind of traumatized by it, but in a good way? It was scary.
Yeah,
but...
I guess I use art as therapy, you know? Gotta draw out the draw out the fears.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
We're sort of seamlessly transitioning into talking about your artwork. So let's do that for a minute as you are our special guest. So let's do a segment that we
Now it's the part of the show where we shine a big shiny spotlight on one of our creator friends. This week, we welcome
Name
and talk about their creative journey. Please, everybody, make some noise for
Name.
Yes, our special guest today, of course, is Jenny Mackintosh, amazing artist. So, Jenny, let's talk about your art. Let's talk about your creative journey. Take us all the way back to when you first started drawing and when you decided to make a career out of it.
Yeah, well, I've always had a drive or passion towards drawing since I was small. Like my earliest memory is drawing grass and you know how when you're beginning to learn how to draw, you're drawing like very like triangular shaped squares, triangle shapes for the grass. So I was always drawn to it, and I've always been inspired by other animated series like Samurai Jack, Dark Crystal, for instance. So I've just been drawing my whole life, but I've always wanted to be an illustrator when I was a kid. That's what I would want to be. If someone asked me, I'd be like, yep, I want to draw. So I stayed with that, and throughout high school, I actually went to high school for a special tennis degree, so I got a scholarship to play tennis at high school. But they had a scholarship for art, and it was interesting that I never pursued the art scholarship, but here I am doing it as a career. So it just stayed with me. I was always drawing in school, like drawing during maths or just practicing my lines. I would use anime as reference when I first started. Like I think a lot of people do, because it's such an interesting genre of art, and it's just so fun to draw from and get a style from that. So when I kept drawing and drawing, I learned more about my style and what I want to draw. And I was always drawn to like horror things and spiderly legs and that kind of thing. So I then went to university to study graphic design, because I was like, okay, this is like the safe, creative career choice, being a graphic designer. And I loved it. I loved my time at uni. It really pivoted my energy more and passion more into getting better at being creative. So I got my degree, did graphic design for a few years here and there for different places. And then COVID hit. Oh, hi. That's my blood reaper. Oh, jump scare. So COVID happened, and I just had a realization of what do I really want to do with my life and what gives me more energy to keep going on with it. And that was illustration. And I love telling a story visually, because I'm not a writer myself. So I like to try and think about my imagery and what story they tell and capture. so that's when I focus more on my business towards illustration, and I'd like attend markets and conventions selling my art, and I've made so many friends along the way. And it's been the most rewarding experience so far because it's so nice connecting with people who love art and also love the fandom cultures I'm into. Like, we just share this immediate connection, and it's so nice to just share that with people and share it through art and like encourage more people to draw and use,
good on you.
or be creative in general and be silly because it's fun. So
That's awesome.
that's where I'm at now, and it's been wonderful.
How were you so in graphic design and just in school doing art, etc.? How did you find your teachers? Were they supportive of your horror leanings, or did they push you to do, I don't know, fruit bowls with fruit in them and stuff?
It was actually one tutor I had in mind who we're great pals now. His name's Justin Randall, and he was my illustration tutor at Curtin University. And he was doing horror illustration and dark arts illustration, and I thought, wow, that's really cool. I want to be like do that as well. I didn't even think you could pivot art towards that genre, and actually, because I love horror in itself, so actually to do art of that genre I love, it keeps me going. So, and I've met some lovely artists along the way, like Austin Ringler. He inspired me to pivot more towards horror illustration because he's a horror artist himself.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I've had some wonderful people support me along the way.
He's one of our favourites. Austin was on here a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, for the Halloween special.
Yeah.
Hey.
That's right. Did you watch that?
I watched the YouTube.
Good on
I
you.
was, I don't know what I was doing that night, but I did watch the YouTube video of it. So yeah.
Okay. That's good.
And so, like this piece here, so it's you tend to blend IPs that you like, characters and stuff that you like, into a horror sort of style.
Yeah.
Is that kind of what you enjoy doing?
Yeah. So I love taking.
Sorry, yeah. No, you please go.
So my creative process is I love taking cute or innocent things and playing a twist on them and bringing the contrast of cute with horror, and they just blend so perfectly together. Like Furbies in themselves are already horrifying. So I was inspired by people who actually make long Furbies in real life. So they're so clever. It's just so awesome how they do it. They just craft these long eldritch being Furby peds, and I was inspired to do my own Furby ped in my own way. So that was the story behind that one. And my art style is very inspired by the Goosebump book covers.
Oh,
if you ever remember them.
Yeah.
They really stuck with me, those covers. I would avoid reading the books because they're too scary, but the covers were really cool. So I love that style of like 80s/90s kind of retro horror art, I guess. I like to capture that with my art.
Jenny, I just had a question just to go back to something. Like you said, you're like a keen tennis player. Were you a keen tennis player, or you're just good at it?
I was.
And do you still do you mix it with the comics? Like, do you do like a horror tennis comic or anything like that?
No, that's because tennis was like a past life. So I was very good at tennis growing up, and then I was pivoting more to illustration and art, and then I picked up another sport, which is pole fitness. So I've been being inspired by pole dancing. Yeah, like pole dancing and pole fitness.
Oh,
all
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've been inspired by that genre.
It's big in Czechoslovakia as well, Dave.
Right.
It's incredible how these athletes just lift themselves up and do these incredible gymnastic like moves. So that's what inspires me, and I'm working on something in the background, encapsulating that. Hopefully, I can I get it done. All talk, no action.
I'm just kind of picturing now just like a character just spinning on a pole with a tennis racket, killing zombies. Is that happening?
I'm on it, mate.
Thanks, Nick. And yes, I'll shut up now.
Wow, awesome. Do you have any weird ideas that didn't quite make it all the way? Like you took a cute thing and made it too gross or something?
Usually my ideas, what I'll do is I'll have a really good head start and I'm like, this is exactly what I want to do. I've got this image in my head of what I want it to look like. And I'm like, all right, let's go, let's draw this thing. And then I start to overthink pieces and then I see all the flaws, all the things that aren't quite right with it. So I'll just be like, okay, I'll solve that later. And then I start another piece and then the cycle continues that way. But if I'm really drawn to a piece, I can crank it out in like less than a week. So it just depends on the motivation and the deadlines.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Well, Jenny, where can people find some of your work if they wanted to buy a print off you or something like that?
Yeah, I have my website, which is just www.jennymackintosh.net. So just my name.net, remember it, and then it'll take you to my online store where I sell my art prints and I ship them off in my own custom-made packaging. And if you're hoping to get any orders in before Christmas, which is coming up real soon, I'd recommend getting them before the 10th of December. Just a little PSA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want one of your loved ones to unwrap something truly
the gift of horror this Christmas.
At the same time. Yeah.
And I sign all my artworks too. So that's a little bonus. I do a little drawing as well. So yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Do you do the Instagram?
I do. It's just Jenny.Mackintosh.
Okay.
Easy to find. M-A-C-K. I get a lot of people think it's M-A-C-I-N, but it's M-A-C-K. I-N-T-O-S-H.
M-I-C-K. Like Mickey Mouse, M-I-C-K.
Okay.
Oh, it's actually M-A-C-K.
No, M-A-C-K.
Oh, M-A.
Yeah.
Heads up, Alex. Here we go.
Oh, there you go. Nick, you're a champ.
It. Swerve.
Now, Alex, that might be a better pitch than there's a monster that builds pipes under.
I don't think so. They build pipes under just some glass thing.
There's monsters. They build pipes under.
It's underground.
Like, you leave the audience just going, under what? Like they're just desperate to watch it. So it's yeah. All right, well, let's take a second to chat to some people for their first time on the show. We'll start with you, Mr. Hugh. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Obviously, regular viewers of the show would be somewhat familiar with your artwork because you've been a regular contributor in the last couple of weeks. More than that, last couple of months. Yeah, so tell us a little bit about yourself and your creative journey and all that good stuff.
Yeah, so I was a bit similar to Jenny. I did like a graphic design degree. I think because I couldn't get into animation when I left high school, and then I just I did that degree, did nothing with it, and then floated around for years doing retail and decided to pursue something more, and now I'm back in studying animation at College of Art. With I think Matt Bryce came on the show. He's doing the same course.
Yep.
So I've got my final year of that, and I've just been sort of into a lot of things, like I said, like puppet, stop motion, and 2D, 3D animation, and sort of comic latest thing I'm into, but it's sort of always been there.
Yeah.
And,
there you go. Nick, you and me, let's go to LA and pitch these shows.
Under what?
That's and that question is not answered until season 6. It's the weirdest. Sorry,
Hugh. It was a workshop. The Fraggles.
Was it?
Sprocket. The dog was Sprocket, and I don't know the guy's name, but it was some sort of repair shop, and they were underneath it. And then there was another world that was bigger as well, with the giants. I think that was underground as well. I'm not sure, but
well, yeah. If I can teach you anything from the Alex School of Pitching, leave some of those bits ambiguous. Like when you said there was a giant, we're not sure what he does. Just that's good. Networks, networks want to have wiggle room. Like you need to leave them questions that they can answer themselves.
I've got a YouTube.
Yes, please.
Just with my uni work on it. I'll write it down because it's a ridiculous word.
We do all this at the end of the show, mate.
Oh no, he was asked by Dan May.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Or maybe Dave was having a go at Dan May.
I think that's my YouTube.
Come on, mate.
Was a Fraggle.
Yeah. It was a Fraggle. Yeah. So I've just put my uni stuff on there at the moment, and I've thought about doing puppets or stop motion, but currently I'm focused on comics for a while. I guess I might get back into it one day, but just trying to do a bit of everything really.
Yeah, and what are you doing in the comics game?
Just working on my first one at the moment. I've got a storyline really, and I've got an idea, but I've just sort of tried to make it smaller and smaller so it's achievable, and it's probably going to be about like a one and done sort of thing. Yeah.
Yep. No, awesome.
Yeah. Hoping to get involved in the presents and stuff in the future too.
We have a rigorous submission process.
The horror one.
Basically, if you own the hat, that's like the first pick. So things are looking good. Rob, sans hat, but I've still heard good things about you.
I'll have to be talking to you, mate. I'll have to get a hat.
For those who don't know, now you were on the ComX show a couple of weeks ago with Lauren and Sizzle. But for those who may have missed, can you give us a little who are you, who is your daddy, and what does he do type deal?
Who is your daddy and what does he do? Let's see. Yeah, that's probably right up. I was in another life. I was a primary school teacher that chucked it all away to go for the heady lights of animation to keep the animation storyline going, all hand drawn sort of stuff. And I eventually got a job in an animation company, but it slowly changed when my role changed, so that I wasn't drawing as much as I used to. And so I decided, well, rather than just sort of giving up, I'll just go back to making it for fun again. So I started drawing some cartoons for good people like Darren Close for some of the Killaroo stuff in Gang Wars, and for a fellow named Stuart Cook, a great comic called Dave Zombie Hunter.
Yeah.
And after doing those two, it felt like it was time to make my own. So I tried to work out what I was going to do, and yes, Deathship Jenny was what came out.
Tell us a little something about Deathship Jenny.
It's a story of reality television, engineering, and Martians.
And they build pipes under.
They do. But that hasn't happened yet. I've got to write. Okay. You've been reading the plot for my next one.
Yeah.
So Jenny gives up being a celebrity. She's a A-list celebrity. She wants to give it up to be an engineer. So she runs away from home, meaning Earth, to help fight the Martians.
Okay.
And hilarity ensues.
Yeah. Is it comedic leaning?
It is comedic leading. It's
it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's just everything I could think of all chucked up. It's basically every send up I could think of celebrity culture and trying to get away from it.
Yeah. And how many issues I know there's 2. Is there more than 2? Are we...
There's 4 all up, and that's
4.
all. There's
Holy
4,
moly.
and that's one full story.
One full
Oh,
story.
nice. And then so will there be a 5, or are you on to something else after that?
That I have to I'm deciding next year.
Okay.
So there we go.
Next year.
Hold on to your hats.
Yeah.
I don't ever have to hold on to.
I know. I've got to get a hat. So I can hold on to it.
And then DK, you're obviously no stranger to the show, but we haven't had you on for a while. I follow you on all the socials and whatnot, and you would have to be one of the hardest working illustrators in the game.
Oh, thank you.
You are everywhere doing everything. Can you tell us a little bit about what you've been up to recently?
Yeah, well, this past month, I think I've gone to, like, every weekend I've had an event on, so I've been busy. Yeah, last weekend I went to a metal festival. Weekend before I went to Supernova. That was huge. And then another smaller event before that, so I need to
Tell us
break.
more about the metal festival. Were you selling comics at the metal festival, or were you just
Yeah,
at
I was.
Moshpit?
I was selling everything there. But yeah, that was fun. I haven't gone to a music festival before, like as a stall holder, so that's pretty cool.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
I was trying to now. For those who don't know, you have a car that you bring with you into the convention.
Yes.
And so I was trying to ask Quick about this after the show last week. So most of us, when we do shows at these places, we book a table. Now you seem to book like 17 tables. But then, do you have to book your car? Like
No, I don't. I just ask them. I say it's like to do with my comic, and they just say, okay, yep, cool, we want it. So I just drive it in.
It's a Datsun 180B. What kind of Datsun is it?
A Datsun 1200.
Right.
Yes.
And it's all kinds of hotted up and everything.
It is.
It must make your loadouts some of the fastest because your car's right there to load into.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, so it started off white and it was quite rusty, and so I done it up for probably about a year, I reckon. So now it's pretty nice.
Are you like into the under the bonnet type stuff as well? Is it like fancy
under?
I have I don't know what I'm doing, but I got someone to help me do it. So I have done a little bit in the motor, but not too much.
Yeah, right. That's awesome. And it must be a head turner, right? When you've got your skeletons crawling out from underneath it and your dudes in the driver's seat and stuff.
Yeah, it looks awesome when it's displayed. So
yeah, bring eyeballs to your table and stuff. It's awesome.
So who's that under the hood there, Nick? Is that Rob? Except but if it can't be Rob because that dude doesn't have glasses or a beard.
Oh right.
It's Colin. He's my zombie. I put in the picture. I don't know if you can see him.
Yeah, get on the gram, Alan. You'd know these things.
I should. I will be getting it back on the gram.
And when the lights went out at Supernova Adelaide, Dana's skeleton dude and his light up eyes was one of the only light sources in the whole place.
Hold it back a bit, Dana. Back a little. Oh, it's a bit funny. There is a skeleton under there next to you.
It's me.
Not quite working.
So that skeleton's name is Colin.
Yes, Colin.
Excellent name.
Speaking of normal names for crazy things, Alex, we were lucky enough to get an update last week, but we should get an update from the bird's mouth, if you will, or the bird's dad's mouth.
Yeah.
How goes young Michael? Is he okay?
Yeah, young Michael's okay. He's got a new buddy. I don't know how much did Shane say anything about it last week?
A little bit.
Give us a little bit of a previously for those who don't know what we're talking about, and then tell us where we're at.
Okay, so I was just wandering home from work one day, and I accidentally stepped. I didn't fully. I almost stepped on a bird, and I saw it, and I was like, this thing looks sad. So then I just took it, and then I was like, well, I can't take care of birds because I got cats. So I just rang up Wilds, I think they're called, and sorry. Wires. Oh yeah, Wires. Yeah, I called up Wires, and then a nice volunteer came in. They walked me through how to take care of little Michael, and I had him for the night. And then somebody more competent came in, took the bird, and noticed that we tried to figure out find the nest where he fell out of, to see if we can find the parents. And the nest was the reason he fell down because something attacked his nest, so it was all kind of collapsed all over the place. Yeah, something like that.
That guy does look sad.
Michael's a bit more chubby.
Do you take all the things that look sad? You just said you look sad, so I took him. Do you I've been known to look sad here and there. Am I at threat of being taken?
Depending how fluffy it is. He's like a little bird. He's like a fluffy bird. He's sad looking. So I'm like, yeah, Rob, you definitely, but you smile too much. So I'd be like,
only on the outside.
Well, that's all I can see.
Yeah.
So anyway, so they took it, and then obviously the lady saw that I was quite attached to the bird. And so they kept me up to date. So they found there's some other lady in Sydney that raises abandoned little baby minor birds. So they were sending me for the first couple of weeks. They sent me some images. So little Michael found a little other bird friend. So there's these two sad birds just attached next to each other. So
awesome.
So I think Michael's gonna be fine. Anyways, he's definitely in better hands than if I would have stuck with it. But anyways, he'll be forever remembered in the upcoming pages of Vamoose. So
yes, so that's the bit that I just to bring it all back to. So in Vamoose issue 3, so those who don't know, Vamoose is an anthology comic book that me and Nick May put together, and features a whole bunch of Australian creators, and one, of course, is Alex Major. Now, Alex Major did an Indian miner story.
No, not Indian. Noisy miner. Indian miners noisy miners are the indigenous Australian.
Oh, okay. Right. And so beautiful, beautiful art, beautiful little story. And then I talked to Alex today about being in Vamoose issue 4. And he said something interesting. He said, time to take little Michael on another adventure or something like that. So to me, that means you've retroactively named the minor birds in Vamoose 3 Michael after your sad little bird that you nearly stepped on.
Yeah, so for any young people watching to figuring out how do I name my characters, so the best way to name your characters, publish them or get them published and wait for an event to happen for you 5 months down the road, and then boom, you got a name.
Yeah, just basically put the character in a comic and then hope that you nearly step on something later
that resembles the character.
Practically name the character after what you nearly stepped on. Yeah, that's like that time I nearly stood on a toilet.
What?
Sorry, what? I do a comic called The Devil's Toilet.
How does this happen?
It's a tale as old as time.
Oh, check how sad that guy is.
This one's inspired by Jenny. Here we go. There we go.
Yes. I love the blue lines to represent my hair. That's wonderful.
So just to answer our friend Chris. Chris was asking if Michael was my wingman. sadly, I'm already in a committed relationship, so all of Michael's charms and skills of being a wingman, having wings, and possibly being a male, just was wasted on me.
Awesome. Weirdly enough, he's in a committed relationship with a pterodactyl. Just birds and pterodactyls that famously don't get along. Fizz, let's take a look at some art that we've had building up behind the scenes.
Yeah. Okay, let's start at the top. The first one that came in was by Marty Wells.
Marty.
He's becoming quite the regular on the show.
Ooh.
Oh, awesome.
Wow. That eyeball looks like it's had the soul sucked out of it? Or...
Yeah.
Yeah, the soul essence.
Wow.
Yeah, Marty, that's terrifying. You nailed it.
Pretty far out that one. Very good, Marty. Very psychedelic.
And I'm always getting his name wrong, so let's give it a try. Tom Tong.
Tom.
We just worked out what the Kilowag. What was the name of it?
It's Chewbacca.
I love it.
Who can remember the name? I said it earlier in the show, but I can't remember.
Fizzgig?
Fizzgig?
Fitzgig.
I think it's Fizzgig, yeah.
All right, awesome. Not a fizzlewag? No.
Not quite a fizzlewag.
Then we have one from Danny Nolan.
Danny.
Hey, good on you, Danny.
That looks like one of those Return to
Oh
Oz
my
guys.
gosh! That's great.
Nice.
They're horrifying.
Horrifying.
The way they move is just. They really
Wow.
captured it. I love it.
Oops.
And Travis Richardson, who's becoming quite the regular contributor as well.
Wow.
Is that quite the
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
Wacko.
It's gone for
Who did that?
a feeling.
Yeah.
Oh my
Who did you say
Amazing.
did that, Liz?
It's got vibes.
Travis Richardson.
Wacko, mate. That's fantastic.
Well done, Trav.
Yeah, Trav, that's awesome, mate. Golly.
love
And he
it.
sent in this is awesome, but he also sent in a second one.
Oh, he's getting greedy.
Oh, look.
Right.
Oh my gosh!
Bit of a nod to Quick.
Oh, see.
I love the corner pod link.
Whoa. Basically, I'm DiCaprio in here painting Kate Winslet as a naked. What are we calling these things? Xerxes?
Pixies.
Sexy, sexy.
That's amazing.
What are we calling these things?
That's awesome.
Did you see this Detective Bungie was on your shoulder? Quick.
Yeah.
I saw it all, man. It was busy.
That was awesome.
And here's one of Alex.
Well, Alex is going to take that because it looks sad. So
Yeah. And it's fluffy as well. So
I think it
That's
looks
fluffy.
Yeah, sad. Meets all the requirements.
Chris, you're going to have to narrow that down, buddy.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's the point.
Exactly. Another regular to the show is for contributing, Dan May.
nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
Nice, everyone can see it.
very
Well,
nice.
All right.
Oh, wow.
Sinister.
Dan must have watched it.
That's Chamberlain.
Scary.
Spot on.
It's great.
Cool.
Wow. Nice work, Dan.
Colours.
Excellent.
Who's gig with two Z's?
Fizzgig, thank you. Fizzgig.
He's good.
Cool. Sorry. Dan
Very
May.
good.
Get it off. No, Nick,
What was that?
hurtful.
And his lovely partner.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Oh,
Man.
nice.
that's Kira,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I'm learning.
Fantastic,
Oh my
Mish.
gosh.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's right.
Good
Wow.
work.
Can she come on the show next week?
Hey, that's the
love
same
it.
one I did, is it?
She should. Yeah, that's the same little Gelfling.
Kira.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
got the plaits, the same as mine. Yeah, very good.
Whose is better, Dad?
Mish is a lot better.
It's not about who's better. It's great.
Good for you.
Cool. That brings us to Nick May.
Yeah.
Dave, you remember
Hey, what
that
happened
scene?
to why is not a Converse? What's going on?
They're the inverse converse, Alex. All the bits have been cut off.
I spent 8 weeks trying to warm up to the whole Converse thing, and now you do this to us?
Now this reminds me of a plot point, right? So does he shatter the dark crystal at the end with a piece of the dark crystal?
Yeah.
Now, because I don't think I've ever created anything, I've stolen it from somewhere. In Badly Beaten Boy, my first comic, I had a robot that the only thing strong enough to pierce its skin was itself, and they chop his arm off and make him hit himself. I think I was
Incredible.
Crystal. It's all been done before, mate. There's no point. Hang it up.
Nothing's
Hang
original.
it up.
What's next?
Dana, you look different.
What's next? We have Davo77.
Tony.
A little bit different from me. Pretty good.
Mate. Well done, mate.
Yeah, Davo, great. Davo can do so many different styles.
Yes,
Yeah.
I've noticed that.
He's kind of an ass in that way. I say that because I'm jealous. I have one style and that's it. Hang it up, mate. Hang it up.
Well done, Davo.
Cool.
That's awesome.
We have a late one come in. I don't think it was drawn tonight.
Whoa.
This was by Liam.
Sorry, I missed who's that from?
Liam.
Oh, Liam. Nice.
Maybe
wow,
we
that's
put it
full
together
on.
in 20 minutes. Although it looks like it was more than 20 minutes.
Liam.
Excellent.
What's Liam's last name?
Great.
Sire?
It looks like the turtle from Neverending Story. You know, that shot of it
Yeah.
after you mentioned it tonight.
And then
Haunting.
we have a what would you call it? A prequel to tonight's from Jenny.
Yeah. The piece
Wow.
that inspired it
Yes.
Yeah.
So
That's
good,
very
Jenny.
good.
all. Yeah.
Like so conceived.
Everyone see
What are
that?
you working in there, Jenny? What's that? Procreate or what are you doing?
Photoshop. So
Photoshop.
it started as a ink. Yeah, so it started as an ink drawing of the Skeksis, but for more an undead look. And then I brought it into Photoshop, and as I was painting it, I changed it to this direction of the alternate ending. So
Yeah.
it's mainly
wow.
Photoshop.
And was it like a live action that you took a photo of in your room? Like your wall behind you looks like the same artwork.
Same
I
purpose.
just have my wonderful fairy lights set up, so just to add to the atmosphere of the theme.
Yeah, wow.
So
That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Live.
So,
So who- yeah, Hugh, are you traditional? Oh, you are traditional because you and Dave got your nibs out this week. You got nibby with it.
I didn't want to compete with the nibs with you tonight, so I stuck with the brush. Good on you, Hugh.
I did both. I got these things too.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Cool.
Good on
So
you.
you use traditional brushes to paint on your iPad? Because you said you did both digital and stuff, so I just...
Yeah, now that'll do a number on your screen there, Hugh. So just
Yeah,
I
well.
don't want to give you advice on that, but
Very scratched.
yeah, can we take a little look at maybe a work in progress there, Hugh, or have you?
I'm pretty much done. I sent it through to Sizzle.
Oh, you have?
I thought it would be better
Oh,
than.
sorry, I wasn't looking there. Yep, I see it. Oh, wow. Okay, cool. Let me download that.
Yeah, Sizzle has the unfortunate job of checking 400 different email accounts for 47 different attachments from creators all over Australia.
I did a sketch before the show because I was trying to ink. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do it all at once.
Yeah. I've
Well,
been
we're
known
at-
to do my whole
are we
drawing
ready?
before the show.
Okay.
Holy.
Mm.
Oh,
Yum.
wow.
Great.
Nice.
Awesome, Hugh.
Yeah, mate.
Great.
Good on you, mate. That's great, Hugh.
That's
Well done,
excellent.
mate.
Wow.
Love the shading too.
Got two in there.
He totally
you-
captured that scene so well.
Now, as someone who hasn't seen this movie for 40 years, is the idea that the Skeksis or whatever tried to destroy it, but they couldn't? Why would they want to destroy it?
No.
Isn't it
So-
something that they like?
I know the context. If he wants to explain it, he can. But does he know the context of it?
Yeah, you can if you like. Yeah.
Okay, so from memory, it's they have a trial to see who's going to be the new emperor after the emperor passes away at the beginning of the film. So it's Trial of Stone, I believe it's called, and they have to smack that what type of stone the hardest, and then whoever does is the emperor. Don't ask me, that's Skeksis rules.
Oh, it's like the thing at Time Zone that you hit with a mallet and then it goes beep, 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 beep.
Yeah.
You get more tickets. Right.
That
I had to do it.
yeah.
Okay, and so the winner is the one that makes the bell ding at the top. Now I get it.
Hits the hardest.
You can
But
make
he
the
captured
biggest-
it really well, like the motion of the Skeksis hitting that stone
That's for,
totem. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah.
you see that comment here? That was for you from Chris.
Thanks.
Now, Dave, say that was for you, Hugh, 4 times in a row fast.
That was for you, Hugh. 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 There we go.
That was for you, Hugh.
You. Here's mine.
Oh yeah, we haven't even done a check-in with you, Dave. It's been an action-packed show tonight. Let's take a quick look. Someone's got a bad feedback on it.
Yeah.
Dave, that's excellent.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Pardon?
Nice.
Yeah, just something different tonight.
That's awesome.
Tried something different. Just using the started off with watercolor pencils just to do the outline, and then painted the rest with watercolor paints.
Mm. If she was green, she could be Yoda's mum.
Yoda's
My
really
mother.
cute. A family portrait.
Yeah.
Does Yoda have parents?
Well, are you telling us he was an immaculate conception, Alex? Are you
We all got to
amending
come in somewhere.
30 years of
Midichlorians.
canon?
Grown in
Yeah,
the
like-
lab.
I mean, I don't know what species is Yoda. Like, all the other characters, like there's other Wookiees and there's other Ewoks, but there's like a bunch of Jar Jar Binkses, but I never remember seeing. I don't know. Maybe I just don't follow Star Wars enough. Is there like an episode of like a Star Wars TV show where there's like a bunch of Yodas just speaking with weird grammar?
Well, actually, I'll
Well,
save
there's
it
Baby
for-
Yoda. I know there's Baby Yoda.
There's a weird theory about Yoda speaking like that he was doing it to confuse Luke. He's playing a doddering old fool in front of Luke Skywalker, and then when he's talking to Obi-Wan, he talks in a normal voice and saying he's too young to train and all this sort of stuff. And so there's a low-key theory that like this I talk was all just an act. But then when they did the prequels, they lent into that's how he talked, and so it's like an abandoned thing. But this is the episode where we pretend we know what we're talking about with Dark Crystal, not when we pretend we know it, what we're talking about with Star Wars.
Oh, wait, this isn't a Fraggle Rock show.
Under.
We had a question in the comments about Dave selling his piece, and Dave does sell his pieces. And if you were interested in buying a piece from Dave, just contact the Sizmeister General, and together they will work it out. And
Yep. We'll work something out.
they're all fairly priced. They come in at less than $1,000 we're talking, I'm sure.
Yeah. Only just.
Here's one that I did this afternoon while I was doing warm-ups.
Oh,
wow.
Dave.
Oh,
That's
nice.
incredible.
That's a warm-up?
Awesome, Dave.
Oh, just a warm up, you know.
That was,
Now, while I'm throwing out bullcrap theories, I have a bullcrap theory about warm-ups, but you've just killed it, Dave. So
Yeah, right.
I have a bone to crack. What is it? I have a bone to pick.
Bone to pick.
With people that say that this is a warm-up. To me, that's a disclaimer to basically like don't judge it too harshly. It's just a warm-up. But it's also when you have a bunch of deadlines and those people that are waiting for their whatever, they follow you on Twitter and they see you're drawing all these other things. You say, "Oh, it's my warm-up," and that's how you're allowed to get away with drawing Spider-Man that week or whatever. But then, Dave, you just crushed my theory. So
why?
Well, it looks like you just did that for fun, not for use it as a disclaimer or a reason why you're not doing your deadline work.
Yeah,
For
because
more
Dave's a dedicated professional. He doesn't, all his customers are happy. Everything's delivered on time and on point.
Yeah,
that's why he doesn't. That's why he has no excuses, Rob. I don't know about you though.
My whole life's a warm up, so don't judge, guys. All right, Sis. Well, where are we at, buddy boy? Should we go into the?
No. We've still got Rob and DK.
Oh, see, that's why I always ask you because I stuff this thing up all the time.
We'll go with Rob first.
Oh, okay.
I've got the mouse over yours.
It was good that Augur was mentioned before. So.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yes.
Fantastic, Rob.
You can't be Gelfling. You look like Gelfling. Smell like Gelfling. Maybe you are Gelfling.
That's amazing.
Rob, that's amazing.
Very good, Rob.
Awesome,
As
man.
we would expect from you, mate. Very good.
Now, Rob, the brown paper is a what do you call it? Is a tradition with your stuff.
Yeah.
What do you like about it's just the way the colors look on it? Or...
What I ended up really loving about it most of all is being able to use a white pen on it and just put a few highlights here and there, and it really accentuates it and makes it look really good.
Yeah.
With not much effort, you've got an immediate texture there already, and suddenly you're just making it brighter rather than making everything else darker.
Rob, are you? Is that craft paper or is it just your lunch bag?
Sometimes I draw in my lunch bag and I forget to eat the lunch bag.
What about the wine bag? That's also the same color, right?
Show us now, Rob.
There we go. It's those guys.
Yeah, right.
Good,
and I think Chris is flirting with me with that comment. So back at you, Chris.
He thinks you're beautiful. That's
wow. All right, Miss DK.
Are you ready?
You're frozen.
Are you frozen?
Oop.
Oh, me. Whoops, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sending it. Hang on.
Oh, it's being sent to the Sis.
It's being sent to me. Okay.
No, let's full screen her while she emails, guys.
I like the low res quality of it all.
What do you like about it, Alex?
It reminds me of like old CD games from the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
Sis, while we wait, maybe we could see what Alex Major's been up to.
Yeah,
oh, crap. What am I doing now?
Can you find it?
Yeah, so for those playing at home, Alex Major takes today's theme character and combines it with an Australian character. They'll often be dancing, jumping out of each other's whatnots. Let's find out who and what Alex has chosen today.
So the little brown thing
I
is
love it.
What's the thing on the right?
Do you have any
looking at,
generic
you-
death metal that you can play so that way it makes more sense?
Oh, we do actually. Bear with
You
me
can
when
do
I
with
find
any
it.
tune.
Now would that be Peter Wilson's Zero that we're looking
Yes.
at?
Oh, right. Good one.
Yeah, he's going for it. That's the fastest motion you've ever sent us, Alex.
Yeah, this one was a little bit. There you go. Now that it's going out.
Amazing.
Now I'm feeling it.
That fizz dig is doing a fizz jig, if you will.
That shouldn't have been that funny.
Jenny, you are welcome back on the show anytime. None of these guys
Oh,
laugh at my
please
jokes.
have me again. I'm having a blast.
Cool. I
Rob
got
is
your
just-
DK. Thanks.
Rob's going to just have a show just with you and you, Jenny, and him, just so
Yeah.
that we just you laugh at his
Start our own
joke.
club.
Well, to
Pretty
be
cool.
fair, it did take like about an hour for Rob to make Jenny laugh hard.
Oh,
nice.
nice.
That.
Hey,
Even
no.
unlocked.
The
Oh,
colours
wow.
is crazy.
Yeah.
Excellent.
DK.
It's awesome.
That is really great.
In the Billy Bones style.
Mm,
Yeah,
wow.
very bright. Always got that airbrush sort of look to your backgrounds. DK, you
Yeah.
do that. Very good.
Definitely
But yeah,
captured
you
those
got it.
weird cube-like hairs on his head.
I thought that was Nick May's signature for a second.
Excellent.
Sorry, Nick.
Ah,
It's sort of
All
a
right,
Nick
well-
thing.
Now, Spedsy, it's that time.
All right, let's do it. Let's do this thing.
This poor person is looking through the newspaper for info on what projects our artists have been working on. And this lost individual is using a map to find where she can follow our artists on social media and buy their books. How about we save them the trouble and just tell them? We call this next segment Shameless Self-Promotion.
Woo! And I get to go first.
Yep.
ComX shop. Buy yourself some Aussie goodness at comx.shop. Flat rate postage for anywhere in Australia of $9 currently. Yeah, a lot of people in this room have comics there, and a lot of other people. We have almost 900 titles.
Wow.
900 titles.
Sorry, 100. 100. 100. 100. 100.
900
I
is
said 9. I don't know why I said 9.
Round it up to the nearest 900.
Yeah, apparently so.
I mean, like,
Oh,
I don't know if there's 900 Australian comics going at the
Yeah, I
moment.
don't know, but I've got 100 of them
Yeah.
for
Wow, that's
$9
pretty good, though.
postage. Maybe that's where the 9 came from.
You,
Um,
maybe you got 9 copies of each of those 100.
9?
100 different titles. That's pretty bloody good.
Yeah.
And I'll throw in another one while I'm here. Sometime very soon, this will be released. A Kickstarter by Reverie of the Dark Nebula and the Southern Squadron Rebirth.
No, right.
Very, very
Reverie's-
soon, I believe. Very, very soon.
Yeah.
Reverie's running that one, right?
And I actually got to co-write the follow-up to that, Torn and the Southern Squadron. So
Oh, right.
if that does well, then my book gets to come out. So yeah, throw it a share or a link or whatever. I have a website that I've just made fancier, psychojanitor.com.
Looks good too.
Thanks. And there I have a little shop that has some books for sale, including this one that we talked about earlier. It's on my mind because we're talking about Vamoose 4. So if you want to see some of the cream of the crop of local Australian talent, that's just issue 3. And issue 3 is thick. And issue 4 is already thicker, and I haven't even confirmed everybody yet. Also, I just wanted to tell you about a thing that I've mentioned a few times, but a webtoon called The Hero Complex. It's written by a guy called Tony Huddy, and it's drawn by me. I'm new to the Webtoon game. This will be chapter 10 coming out on Tuesday, and it's a big moment that Tony's been building to for a while. And just if I can put a ticket on my shoulder and pat my own back, I bring it. If you like my stuff, I think it's the best work that I've done in this Hero Complex thing. So
Wow.
do me a favor and go check it out. The link is on the front page of psychogenitor.com because the real link is really long and it's got slashes and asterisks and all that sort of stuff. So grab it from there. It's clickable. Speaking of clickable, someone that's quickable.
Whoa. Hey, just to back Rob up, you got to see his website. It's beautiful. And
Yep, it is.
I didn't know how much work Rob had done. So you go there and you look at all his work. You're like, man, that guy keeps busy. So check it out. As far as my stuff goes, I've been plugging my Flyboys book, which is available for pre-order on my website. It's got various ComX chumps attached to it. Very great book. And I promised I'd talk a little bit about Propeller Ella, which is another book I'm working on. It's going to be about 34 pages. And it's interesting we're talking about brown paper tonight because the artwork for me has been inspired by Da Vinci's sketchbooks and stuff.
That's epic. Nick,
Uh,
that's beautiful, man. That's beautiful.
Yeah. So it's all in
so cool.
landscape. It's so it's something I've been working on. And I haven't drawn a lot of humans before, so this is my first
just 900
real go at it. And learning as I go. So you can find that.
30 more pages. You got 30 more pages to go.
It's about 34. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Now I remember when we first met you, you were working on a budgie book, and you said something like, "Oh, I've got 80 more pages," and I was like, "All right, well, talk to us in 3 years' time when you get it finished." And then, cut to what felt like a month later, you had this full budgie book. So, man, I can't wait to read that. That looks bloody beautiful.
Well, you can pre-order it at detectivebudgie.com.
Alex, he looks sad. Take it.
Well, I'm going to save it. Don't worry, Budgie Man.
You.
Yeah, I'm pretty much just at Instagram at McGowan Hugh. I'm gonna be doing a Kickstarter for the new year probably for my first comic, and yeah, that's about it really. It's gonna be all traditional inked, black and white, short one. Yeah,
awesome.
Keep an eye out.
Awesome. Excellent. That'll be good. Alex.
Sorry, I was just looking at McGowan Hughes' Instagram. What's with the echoing? That's weird. Anyway, I can tell you where you're not to find me. I'm not on TikTok anymore. I've been booted off the platform. So
really? No way.
Yeah.
Breaking news.
So all my 160,000 fans. It's pretty much. I hope you guys watching this show. But yeah, we'll be relaunching that stuff. Because I've been making all that content across a bunch of devices, so it's hard to find all my 400 or something odd videos. But I am going to relaunch it on Instagram Reels. So
is that
when I do it,
Musk owns that. Egon Musk, or what his name is it?
No. Xi Jinping owns that one. But TikTok, that's a Chinese thing.
Egon was in the Labyrinth, wasn't he?
Yeah. So I don't know. So I'll just got to pick. So I'll keep people posted. Ichigo will be back. She's not gone. She's not dead. She's just not on TikTok anymore because TikTok finds fighting girls offensive. So
yeah. So for those who don't know, Alex draws a Japanese girl who farts. That's basically it. But she's fully clothed at the time. Where's the problem?
She's always fully clothed, and she's also drawn in a way that she's not a kid. So, but apparently that was it. So, there was what happened was a lot of it's very divisive characters for some reason. So some people hated it, some people loved it, and a couple of people that hated it just basically ganged up, trolled it, And then eventually, like, just TikTok pulled it off, and I've been trying to get in contact with people to explain myself. And there you go. So and I got nothing from them, and it's kind of like, it's not a waste of time because I still had an audience. I have like literally hundreds of fan art from kids, so it's all cool. So I'm just going to take a bit of time off, and then I'm gonna relaunch it on Instagram Reels, and then I'll just be boasting about that, and let's hope we can find all those 160,000 people to subscribe again. Even the bots are welcome.
Jim's got a lot to answer for, mate.
Yeah, he does. There you go. So if you notice that, like, I wasn't pro China this whole episode, you know why. So
that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
I did notice a subtle non-pro China vibe coming from you.
I did.
Yeah. So so anyways, it's not a big deal. But so in the meantime, you can find my Korean exploits at ComX shop. So I have teacher, go through that. I think I've got a couple of books there. And then also, importantly, people watching the show, click that subscribe button. Also, remember to ring the bell. Oh yeah, and click like in whatever order you want. You don't have to do it all in the one order. You can do it all in different orders. Whatever way, just makes your YouTube time.
Do it in that order.
Yeah, there you go. And then also, don't forget that this is an amazing show, but there's other shows as well. So go through. There's hundreds of videos on this channel, so make sure you go through, watch all of them. And then also, I don't know why. Looks like the last few comics I've done all have birds in them. So make sure you pick up Vamoose 3. It's got birds in it. And same thing with Nick's Fly Boys. It's got some of my birds and pandas in it as well. So spoiler alert. But yeah,
I just want to call out Blue Samurai. So there should be, and then after that, and then there's Alex.
Anyways, I talked a lot. Don't go on TikTok. I'm on Sloppy Bunny. I'm Sloppy Bunny Tunes on Instagram, I think. And then Janet Mumble's downstairs. He's got plenty of stuff to promote. So promote yourself.
They call him the Egon Musk of comics, Australian comics. It's Nick Mayfield.
They actually they've started calling me Thick Nick. I can be found on Instagram at Chernobyl. Some of my stuff can be found in Vamoose at Psycho Janitor or the ComX shop. That's me. Over to you, Rob.
Okay. Deathship Jenny is owner indie, and of course with the one and only ComX crew. Go, buy, enjoy.
Bring cash.
And everything in between is kind of on my Insta, which is RobO'Connor_art. Go for it, Dave.
Right. Well, I think, was it last week or the week before? I can't remember time because we did 2 shows last week. I get a bit all mixed up, I guess, sometimes. But this is the one I was working on over the last week or so. This is for Antoinette Ryder. This is her war story from her military days.
Oh, yeah, cool.
This is all finished now. I've done the 8 pages. That's all done. All scanned and sent off. So
she has received it, Dave?
Yeah, she's got it. She's happy with it. So
awesome. Amazing.
There we go. That's what I've been working on over the last week or 2.
Now that must be a big deal though, right? Like if you write a story and you send it to an artist and then you don't hear from him for 2 years or whatever, and you think, oh well, that's dead. And then just randomly you just go, here's some amazing artwork just rocked up. Holy moly.
Yeah, I think she was a bit surprised to see it.
Yeah.
She obviously doesn't watch the show because I mentioned it last week. So
yeah.
Watch ComX. Drink and draw. That's it from me. My My piece of paper says it all
sorry.
here.
Very nice.
Yeah.
My comics available there. Two
I
different
hope
pages.
there's at least one person trying to click the link on the screen.
Why isn't it working?
That'd be picnic.
Yes.
Two
See, the
places,
worst part of
Tony.
it is, Rob, I'm trying to click the link and my laptop doesn't even have a touch
Who
screen.
sees, Nick?
So-
We need QR code.
All right, that's all from me.
That's a good
Dana,
idea.
take it away.
All right. Yeah, my link is Decada Studios, and that's on all my socials. And decadastudios.com is my website where you can find all my stuff and comics. This is my latest one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Issue
Damn.
4, right?
Sweet.
Yes,
I'm gonna get
4.
my mitts on one of those.
Hell yeah.
That's so cool.
Oh yeah.
That's the back.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You know what, DK? You and I were going to do a book swap, and you were up
Yes.
to issue 3, and I was just about to put out issue 3 of The Devil's Toilet, and
Yes.
I said, "Oh, just wait, because Devil's Toilet 3 is about to come out, and then we'll do 3 for 3." But now
Yeah.
you're up to 4, so
Oh,
we'll have to wait. I'll have to catch up. Yeah. I was going to try and call. Give it up, mate. Whatever it was, I don't know. Jenny, tell us where can we find you?
Yes, so you'll find me most active on Instagram, which is jenny.mackintosh, so MACKINTOSH. And I have my website, which is, again, www.jenny.mackintosh.net. I've got my prints on my website. I've wrapped up conventions for the year, so if you're hoping to get any art before Christmas, I would get the orders in as soon as possible. So I'm not rushing, and you're not panicking about getting it in time, and I'm not panicking whether or not you'll get it in time. So that's me. That's my selfless promotion. Just find me on my Instas, Facebooks under Jenny Mackintosh. There's actually another Jenny Mackintosh in the world. I found out. And she's an artist as well.
Well, I just found out
She's an
tonight there's another
artist.
Rob in Australian comics, and I'm really peed off about that. So.
Tell me
At
about it.
least she does like beautiful floral paintings, and here I am doing Tom Uzumaki.
You guys should
from
collab.
Junji Ito and
Yeah,
we
I should do
should.
like a Jenny squared thing where she just does beautiful flowers, and then you got these like things like a trying
Dead
to creep on it.
wasteland, skeletons everywhere.
I'm just
yeah.
thinking about the poor person
Duality.
who was like, "I'd like a nice Jenny Mackintosh piece for Christmas," and then
Open bigger flowers.
beautiful flowers.
What do you mean? It is nice. They are nice pieces.
Yeah.
An acquired taste.
Well, I believe that's our show for
That
this
is.
week. Now, we don't know if we have a show next week. We're a little bit in limbo. So a little poll out to the audience. If it turns out we have no guest, would you like Santa to be the guest? Now, those who saw last year's show, we had Santa on during Christmas. Go back. It's one of the most divisive episodes that we've had.
One of the best.
Some
Was
thought
that
it
the
was-
best one? Was it the most viewed?
Some thought it was the worst. So if you want to relive last year's Christmas episode, drop it in the comments or contact Sizzle. Otherwise, this might be bidding you adieu for the year. Don't know. We'll see how we go. Hang it up, mate. That's the one.
Hang it up.
Words
We're
to
on
die
it.
by. All right.
Words to die my. Good mind, but remind me.
Well, that's our show. Thank you so much to
We should
everybody.
Hey, Rob, do you reckon the Easter Bunny can come instead of Santa? 'Cause he's already getting requests.
Check with his schedule first.
Yeah. I believe he's freed up over the Christmas holidays, but who knows?
Yeah.
There we go. Nice.
Hey,
I don't know if I have
I
anything.
just want to mention I started work on doing a story for Peter Lane.
Yes,
Actually,
you
I
are,
started
Dave.
doing where is it? Over here. A couple of pages, Pete. I've got a couple of pages draft done up of your story.
Excellent.
Mate.
Nice.
Sky
David.
Cavern Library.
Yeah.
And these are the the draft pages, of course.
Oh yeah.
It's not a giraffe, Dave. It's an Arctic fox.
That's right. I've got to keep reminding me of that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Pete. I got it started, mate.
That's awesome. All right, yeah. Thanks to everybody watching. Thank you to all the artists who contributed to the show. And if this is our last show, I just wanted to thank you all for an amazing year here at ComX once again. I'm sure we will see you again, but if we don't, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy Whatnot. Yeah, make sure you stay your vitamins and eat your prayers, and we'll catch you down the road. Hang it up.
Hang it up.
Thanks for having
Someone
me.
should call the police. The show has been murdered. But in 1 week we will rebuild it. Better, stronger, faster. In the meantime, head to comx.shop and powder your chestnuts on a copy of Detective Budgie by Nick Cleary, Amazing Tales by Dave Dye, Vamoose by Nick May, Battle for Bustle by Lee Chalker, Radical by Ed Kearsley, Sluggish by Spedsy, Crimson and Rascal by Peter Wilson. ComX Presents featuring so many of the creators that have appeared on this show. And so much more. Alright sis, press the button. End the show. Don't make me butter your biscuit. Sizzle, press the button. Sizzle? Sausage sizzle.